Hi, my name is Heather Condon. I'm a clinician at Project Courage in Old Saybrook. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about nicotine, e-cigarettes, and how to prevent youth substance use. So youth are going to be exposed to substances at some point in their life, whether it's in person or on social media. And sometimes there can be fear around talking to youth about substance use. However, the earlier you start having conversations with youth will actually increase prevention rates and prolong the age of onset. Age of onset refers to an individual's development or first experience of a condition or symptom and has been linked to substance use dependence. So parents, teachers, coaches, healthcare professionals all have an important role when it comes to talking to youth about risks of tobacco. The first step is educating yourself about nicotine and e-cigarettes. So youth have a higher chance of taking information away from a conversation with adults who they can trust, who they feel heard by, and are willing to have an open conversation without judgment. Also leading by example. So youth are more likely to use tobacco products if their parents, siblings, and friends are using it around them in their environment. So a little bit about e-cigarettes and vapes. Usually they're made of the following main components: a battery, which is the energy source, an atomizer, which is a heating element, and an e-liquid, which is the fuel, and cartridge, which is the tank, which kind of holds all of that. Devices come in all shapes and sizes. Some even look like USBs and come with a USB charger that youth can stick in their laptop. The e-liquid contains nicotine, which is extracted from the tobacco plant, and levels may vary depending on the e-liquid for the percentage of nicotine. Flavoring, which is artificial or natural, and what some youth and parents don't realize is that the artificial flavor could have a nut extract or something that someone could have an allergy to. So if youth are kind of passing this around or sharing, there's also a high risk for an allergy exposure. Water, which is used as a thinning agent. Propylene glycol, which is a vegetable glycerin, preserves and distributes the ingredients. Chemicals and metals, which are formed when the e-liquid is heated up. So metals like nickel, tin, and lead. E-cigarettes and vapes, when the battery ignites everything, it heats all the ingredients and creates an aerosol that you inhale. So those are teeny particles or droplets containing nicotine, chemicals, and the metals. So they're inhaled and actually exhaled. Some remain in the respiratory system, and then others get suspended in air. So this is known as kind of like a third-hand smoke. So unlike gas and vapor, these particles aren't really absorbed. They kind of stick to the surfaces around you. So clothing, in your car, in your bed. So not only the person who's actively using the tobacco product, or such as a vape or e-cigarette, they're inhaling that longer after the first initial exposure, and then other people at home that they come in contact with in the school bathroom, young children and animals are also intaking that into their respiratory system or through skin exposure. Vaping is less harmful if you're transitioning from traditional tobacco. However, it's still harmful regardless whether if you're transitioning or not. There are many just unknowns about long-term vaping use and the long-term impact of those chemicals on the physical health. So from about 2019 to 2020, there was a large outbreak of lung injuries and deaths associated with vaping. The CDC confirms that 60 deaths were linked to the use of e-cigarettes or vaping products due to modifications of the device, where the liquid was containing tetrahydrocannabinol oil, which is a marijuana extract, or with a vitamin E acetate, which was used as like the thinning agent. Nicotine is a highly addictive agent found in both traditional tobacco products and cigarettes. It causes you to crave and suffer withdrawal symptoms if you ignore the craving. They're very strong. It's also a toxic substance. It raises your blood pressure, spikes adrenaline, which increases your heart rate and the likelihood of having a heart attack in the future. Repeated exposure can also alter connections in the brain, which is extremely harmful for youth. The human brain typically stops developing around the age of 25, 27. So using nicotine products under those ages actually causes impairment to memory, attention, and learning. Many e-cigarettes come in kid-friendly flavors. So mango, bubblegum, fruit, cream, mint, which are appealing and advertised to youth. And those flavors have also been linked to lung disease. So Juul advertises a new form of nicotine called nicotine salts. And through that advertisement, they kind of express that it reduces like the harshness on the throat, so that's easier to use. The manufacturer also states that a single Juul pod is equivalent to a pack of cigarettes. So some youth smoke 3 Juul pods in a week. So that would be equivalent to 60 cigarettes. In 2020, the CDC and FDA collected data stating that in the US, stating that 3.6 million youth used cigarettes in the past 30 days. So within that data, it included 1 in 5 high school students and 1 in 20 middle school students. So just kind of recapping everything that we talked about today, what you can do to prevent youth tobacco use is talking to youth about why cigarettes are harmful for them. It's never too late to have that conversation. Set a good example by being tobacco free and continue to learn about the different devices and risks of tobacco use. Thank you.